Hello, student. Welcome again to yet another learning class of business studies. As you can see, we are going to embark upon a new topic, a new forms of business organization. And our topic for discussion today is joint Hindu family business, which is also known as Hindu undivided family business. Now, as the name indicates, it's a business which is conducted by a family, and family consists of major as well as minor. But then we have to decide if it is a family business or if there is a common property. There must be a common property when the entire family is engaged. So who can take part into management? What are their rights? What are their duties and liabilities? This we are going to study today. So let us discuss first, what is a joint Hindu family business or Hindu undivided family business? So as I have written, it is a form of business organization in which all the family members of a business participate to carry on a business under the management and guidance of Karta. So this Karta is the senior most male member of the family. He is the person who takes entire decision relating to the business. His decision in binding upon all other members. There is no one who can go against the decision of the Karta. Generally what happens when a Hindu member dies or when a Hindu male dies, the property of a Hindu devolves upon his heirs, Heirs, heirs. That is his sons, grandsons, great-grandsons. They inherit the property of the deceased. And once the property is used in a business, that becomes a joint Hindu family business. So in a Hindu family, when a business is started out of such a common property, which is known as co-parcenary property, and the claim or right of the co-parcener are the person who inherit the property of a deceased Hindu. Now, who are really a co-parcener? This is a business which is regulated by Hindu Succession Act of 1956. So, as per Hindu Succession Act, the three male line of succession or three lineages of succession in a particular family, like if a man dies, then the first line is his son, second line is grandson, third line is his great grandson. So all these three succession line, they becomes the co-parcener. Rest may be a member, but these three lines of members, they are termed as co-parcener. So they co-parcener take part in actually conducting the business, but it is directed, controlled and managed by the decisions of Karta. Since the Karta is whole and soul of the business, he manages as per his decisions, as per his vision. The Karta has unlimited liability, whereas the liability of other members, they are limited up to their share in the co-parcenary property. Any member can ask for checking the accounts, or if they are not satisfied, they may take their share of co-parcenary property and get away with the business. Now, one thing to be noted here is that since the business is managed by the oldest person or the senior most member of a family, So if the Karta dies, the next senior member of the family becomes the Karta. So what we find that in this type of business, there is a perpetual succession. It goes on continuing its operation. It has a separate entity other from the entity of its member. Member may go, member may come, but the business goes on forever. It exists continuously to continue its operation. These are the features and benefit of joint Hindu family business. Since the joint property that is inherited is known as co-parsonage property, but the individual property that is being earned by an individual, that is not subject to claim of other partners or other members of the business. Generally, there are two schools of thoughts, Dayabhag and Mitakshara. So as per Mitakshara, or which is prevalent in different parts of India, and Dayabhag, earlier it was held, as per Mitakshara, that only the male member can be the member, or male person in a family can become a member of a joint Hindu family business. But later on, with many developments and amendments in Hindu law, that is Hindu Succession and Inheritance Act, since 2013, it has been made that even the female member can claim their share. They can be a member. So that this law, Hindu law, has undergone a change. So as of now, what exists is that this is a form of business which is carried by the members of a family, and they work under the guidance and management of the head member, that is Karta. He has a sole control over the business. He is not bound to adopt and to follow the suggestions and guidance of others. Rather, his decisions are binding upon the members. And as a result, that this Karta has unlimited liability. So far the existence of the business is concerned, its existence comes due to the operation of Hindu law. Hindu law permits that if three person or three line of succession starts a business on the basis of a co-parsonage property, or the property that they have inherited from their forefathers, that becomes a co-parsonage property, and they start a business, then that business is governed by Hindu Succession Act, and that becomes a joint Hindu family business. So here, this comes into existence by operation of Hindu law, and the business starts when the members, the three line of male member, they inherit an ancestral property after the death by the son, grandson and great grandson. And we have discussed that therefore, since Karta is the head, the death of Karta does not affect the business. The next senior most member becomes the Karta, so the business has a perpetual succession. It moves on continuously. Then we can have the three line of succession generation in male line are called co-partner. I have discussed that if a male dies, then first line is his son, second line is his grandson, and third line his great grandson. So these three line of successions, they becomes the co-partner. And then we have other members other family members are the member of the business, and membership of a business is acquired by birth. The moment a new family member take a birth in the family, he becomes a member of the business, of the joint Hindu family business. And finally, liability of the member is limited to the extent of their share in the co-parsonage property, whereas the liability of the Karta is unlimited. Karta has unlimited liability. Now why the reason is clear, that he takes the entire decisions. So let other not suffers by his decision, and he should ensure that the decision he is taking it should be in the best interest of the co-partner. So these are the features, or these are the definitions and highlights of joint Hindu family business. Now let us discuss about some of the features of joint Hindu family business. So the first feature, as we see, is membership by birth. Now in a joint Hindu family business, any member of the family business, he is member of the business by virtue of his birth in the family. Now since he has taken a birth in the family, he becomes a member of the joint Hindu family business. He cannot be debarred from his right. No, that he cannot take part in the business. He cannot be prevented. He has his share. He can take part in the business. His share of profit is determined the moment he takes the birth. So first, membership by birth. So in the joint Hindu family business, anyone who takes birth in the family, he becomes a member. Then the second feature is minor member. Now, we know that minor is a person who has not attained the age of majority as defined by Indian Majority Act 1871, I think. So that 775. So there has been an act which has prescribed what should be the age of majority. But this law provide, Hindu law provide, that once a person takes birth, it does not matter whether he is a minor or a major, or when he attains to the majority, he becomes a full-fledged member of the joint Hindu family business. The moment he takes birth, he becomes a sharer in the profits of the business. So therefore, even the minor can become a member in a joint Hindu family business. Then the third feature is governing statute. Statute, we have discussed, is a law. So there is a law according to which this business is governed. Hindu law, especially Hindu Succession Act or the Inheritance Act, they govern. Hindu Succession Act governs this business. It determines the shares of the co-partner, of the members, and it also regulates that who could be the member, who could be the manager or the person who looks after the business. It's all provided by the joint Hindu family business law, that is Hindu Succession Act. Then the next one is management. Now management is the right to manage the business. We have discussed that the senior most member of a family, who is known as Karta, the right to manage is vested in a Karta, in a joint Hindu family business. Now he enjoys. Now this right is absolute. Absolute means he is not bound by the suggestions and decisions of other or what other feels. He has an exclusive right of managing the business his way, what he feels. There is no one who can interfere with his authority. His decision is binding. He commands the business. So therefore, the management of the business vests in Karta. He is not accountable to any of the co-partner for his decision. He has an absolute authority. So whatever decision is taken, it is binding. He is not accountable to other member or the co-partner for his decision. So the management of the business vests in Karta, who has an absolute authority over the business. The next comes the liability. Now we know what is the liability. That is the obligation to pay something what one owes. So if the business owes something, the payment is to be done by the business. But in case the business is unable to pay off its liabilities and debts, then the personal property or wealth of Karta is used to satisfy the claims and obligations of the business. So it means that the Karta has an unlimited liability, whereas the other member have a limited liability. Their liability is limited, restricted to the extent of their share. What is the proportion of their share in the co-partnership property? To that share, the liability of the members are limited. But so far Karta is concerned, he has unlimited liability. Then next comes the number of members. Now, as it is very much clear that an individual, except sole proprietorship, since in a business it has to be two member who inherits a property and then they starts a business. So the minimum number of person is two, whereas the maximum number of person is not provided by the law. That what should be the maximum number? And we have seen that the moment a person gets birth or takes birth in the family, by virtue of birth, he become a member of the joint Hindu family business. So therefore, there is no limitations or restrictions on the number of member, maximum number. What could be the maximum number of member in a joint Hindu family business? So, and then finally, we have perpetual succession. Now, this is the most important feature, like other business as well, except sole proprietorship. What we find, perpetual succession, that is permanent existence, that is the meaning. The business continue to operate, that death, insanity or any other mishappenings with the Karta does not affect the life of the business. The business continue its operation even at the fate of such insanity or death of Karta. The next senior most member, he or she becomes the head of the family and the business continues to operate. So this business has a perpetual succession. So this is all about today's discussion. Have a look at it and then we will meet tomorrow for our next class.